got to really get it.
Justice?
You've got to really get it, baby.
Isn't justice sort of a lie most of the time? Isn't the law just
maybe,
tricks,
yeah,
really?
But you see, we're dealing with men, and men make mistakes, but there's somebody made all of us.
Well, they made the laws, too.
Somebody made this world, and someday, if he could get his hands on a cat like you, you could be like horrible example number one.
You mean like...
Do you ever think about it?
You mean like J.C.?
Yes.
Well...
What happens if somebody holds a crucifix up in front of you? Do you melt away?
I don't do this, you know, shrink back and hold my cape up. No. It doesn't bother me because I have no axe to grind with Christianity. I feel that if Christians are good Christians, they want to be Christians, fine, if it's working for them. Same with any other religion. The only thing that I would preach would be that people that aren't successfully enjoying their lives as much as they should might sort of flip the coin over and see what's on the other side.
You want people to just go full bore, full tilt into sin?
No, not full bore, full tilt, because if they do...
Now, wait a minute.
Well,
Let me quote
these,
from this
of course, newspapers
are
notorious for this.
Come on. It says right here, let me see if I can find this part here, where they couldn't wait to go out and commit the 7 deadly sins. I don't see it here, but I remember reading it.
Isn't
right?
that what people get married for, usually?
To commit the 7 deadly sins?
It gives them a piece of paper that says it's all right? Especially the first...
the 7 deadly sins?
Sure. Think about it, really.
Clear your head.
What are the... Do you know what the 7 deadly sins are?
Well, there's pride.
Sloth, pride, that's
Sloth.
right. The girl gets married because then she can go around to all her friends and say, well, I landed him, sort of crow about it.
No girl in her right mind would say that you performed the ceremony.
Well, all right. There's a sloth. That's laziness. Doesn't the couple usually go on a honeymoon? They want to lay around after they've committed one of the other sins?
I believe the term is lie around. On the beach or something like that.
I know it's lie around, but I was using another
example. I see.
All right. We won't go into semantics about this.
Good, we won't.
And gluttony. Don't we all like to eat until we're full? If we didn't, wouldn't there be no need for diets?
No, I don't think so. I don't think people always eat until they're full, or we would all look like balloons.
Well, then, of course, pride would step in, wouldn't it? And take care of that so that we'd thin ourselves down. We'd be sinning then.
Would it be pride or would it be self-denial?
Self-denial is a sin, I feel, but it's not considered a sin.
Are you planning on training a lot of little devils?
Only those that wish to become little devils.
Are you married?
Oh, yes.
Do you have any little devils?
Oh, yes, I have 2.
Are you going to raise them as satanic kids?
Certainly, but not to go around chopping people up or sacrificing human beings, just to...
That would be the greatest reward of all if your kid some night would creep in and set fire to you and your lion.
Well, no.
Huh?
No.
And then dance around with pitchforks and say, look at Daddy, look at Daddy. Huh? Now, if you sleep with your lion, where does Mrs. Devil sleep?
Well, she sleeps with the lion, too, you see. Not between us, though. The lion's on one side.
Makes for a nice grouping.
I don't believe in separating church and state.
There's some people in the dock who would like to speak to you. We'll be going to the dock and the devil after these words. State your name, sir.
Yes, my name is Jim Jelsma.
Did you drop in for some devil's food cake or what's on your mind?
No, we're... first of all, how do I address you?
Well, you can call me Mr. Reverend Anton by my first name, whatever.
Well, I'll state the Mr. to begin with. First of all, I'll say one thing. You have a lot of followers, and you're right.
Oh, yes.
You're right about the devil being a god, because the Bible clearly states that the devil is the god of this world, and he's also the prince of the power of the air. So I don't dispute you on this matter at all. My only
Are we picking up a new recruit here?
My only question is this question basically about death. Personally, I don't think it's a funny matter, whether you're really sincere in what you believe or whether you are just doing this to gain followers. I mean, it's a pretty serious thing. First of all, everyone dies physically, but you're right. Again, everyone does not die spiritually. And I'd just like to ask you, what do you think is the concept of God? What is your concept of God? What does God do? Is he, in other words, we visualize God as being the ruler of everything that is good and proper. In other words, his attributes are love and his almightiness, omnipotence, omnipresence, and so forth. And of course, we recognize that God has given to this world many wonderful things. Just look at all as far as paintings. in the literature that's inspired by God, the tremendous things that you see in all over the world that God has inspired through literature and music and art. What has the devil given to this world along the lines of what we consider as good and proper and just?
Yeah, what have you done lately?
Well, certainly you're right. The concept of God has given the world much beautiful music, many beautiful works of art, and certainly I feel God exists, but the name for God, of course, is different for many different people, and I feel that God is that force, whatever God one chooses to pray to or to command. In the case of Satanism, rather than pray, I feel whatever God exists should be the God that carries a person along, that carries them through, that makes them a better person, that makes them live a better life, and naturally a more pleasant life. So, and I feel that you have to be kind to yourself, indulgent to yourself, before you know what it's like to be kind to others.
True. Now, you brought up one thing about pride. Now, do you think this is a bad thing?
No, I think pride is a very good thing. Of
You have
course,
to understand, he likes sin, you see.
these things are all euphemisms for, and I feel, rules that are insured to be broken by the church.
Listen, when your wife crawls over that line to say good morning to you, does she refer to you as Beelzebub, or how does she address you?
Depends on what mood she happens to be in.
Is she also a satanic type?
Oh, yes.
She approves of all of this?
Certainly. She wouldn't be around if she didn't.
And how do you make your living?
As a counselor, sorcerer, practicing wizard, shaman, warlock, whatever you wish to call it.
You're also a male witch, a warlock.
Well, a male witch is considered a warlock.
You
but I don't
claim
consider
to be a witch, then?
a male witch.
You
Certainly,
are?
but not a white witch, not like some of these people that have been on various shows that bend over backwards trying to convince everyone how good they are. They never perform black magic, only white magic. I think this is ridiculous.
Could you make that man disappear out of the dock?
Out of the dock? Why should I want to? I
Well,
could.
because we have somebody else coming up.
Of course I can't make him disappear, because I am naturally cast in the mold of a human being, and I think this
Want
is...
to bet?
It
You
might
look
be...
less human and more Mephistophelian to me.
Thank you, sir.
I call him a devil, he's complimented. Would you state your name, please?
Mandy Tennyson, and I think you asked him what I wanted to know. How do you make your living?
I make my living, as any other minister does, by the people that come to my congregations, my lecture groups. I do lecture on various occult subjects. It isn't all Satanism. I lecture on voodoo, West Indian magic, African magic, Norse magic, and also try to help people with various problems, enlighten them on these concepts of magic, folklore, and offbeat religions. This is how I got involved in this as a religion.
Does it pay well?
It pays the bills.
Looks like a pretty cheap suit you're wearing.
It's not even a suit.
Now, come to think of it, the jacket doesn't match the trousers.
It's pretty much the same as yours.
I doubt it. I never knew they put
No,
hooks on burlap bags before today.
Well, no, this isn't...
You're wearing boots, too, aren't
That's
you?
right. These are the same kind of boots that motorcycle cops
Did you come
wear.
here on a motorcycle?
This makes me a sadist, too.
Huh? Does it? Are you a sadist also?
Oh, yes.
Are you also a masochist?
Well, a little bit. Maybe that's why I'm here.
Any other questions?
Well, I would like to know if this actually substantiates your house, your expenses. You have 2 children. How can you live on the people that support you? They must have to give you an awful lot of money.
Not really, because after all, if a person is conducting themselves in any kind of business, it doesn't have to mean that they're taking $100 or $200 or $500 from each person. My fees are very, I feel, reasonable for my private
Can you
consultations.
picture his kids filling out a form for school? What does your father do? He's a bald-headed devil. Any other questions?
No,
for
that's all. Thank you.
That'll hold us. Thank you. Would you step forward, sir, and state your name, please?
Steve Friedman. Reverend, I'm a little curious about that line you say that you sleep with. How can the two of you, your wife and yourself, be in bed with the line?
Probably not easy.
Well, the bed is not made for the lion. The lion sleeps next to the bed, at the foot of the bed.
How's that for a watchdog? I thought I had it good with a karate monkey.
Well, doesn't it kind of shake your wife up being so close to the line like that?
No, it's a rather secure feeling. You know, there's never any problem of prowlers or burglars.
Yeah, but they have been known to turn on you, haven't they?
Well, he is chained, so he can only go so far.
Well, listen, our time's all up. I'd like to tell you where to go, but you'd enjoy it.
Oh, that's
We'll be back with another guest after these words. Stand by.